Hello and welcome to Prep Station. I'm your mathematics teacher. It is about that time when we prepare you for the forthcoming JAM exams. As we begin, let's quickly take a look at the syllabus. Now, the syllabus is divided into 5 sections. We have number and numeration, algebra, geometry and trigonometry, calculus, and last of all, statistics. We have the following topics under number and numeration. We have number bases, fractions, decimals, approximations, and percentages. We have indices, logarithms, and surds. And we have sets. For algebra, we have polynomials, variation, inequalities, progression, binary operations, matrices, and determinants. And under geometry and trigonometry, we have Euclidean geometry, mensuration, loci, coordinate geometry, and trigonometry. Second to the last is calculus, and then we have differentiation, application of differentiation, and integration. The last but not the least is statistics. There we shall look at representation of data, measures of location, measures of dispersion, permutation and combination, and the last is probability. I'm sure you have your textbooks. You should also have your past questions booklets. Now for this class, you will need your pen and your paper. Get a writing pad, and then you get something to write with. Let's make progress. So I have decided to take a full year question. Year 2010, precisely. And that's because for every year, you have questions that cut across all of those topics that I listed to you before we started, or when we just started. So let's take the first question. 2010, question 2. It says find R if 6R7 base 8 equals 511 base 9. Now, this is a number-based question. 6R7 base 8 equals 511 base 9. So if we have 6R7 base 8 equals, go back, we have 511 base 9. 511 base 9. Okay, so you must have been taught that the first thing to do is to put numbers above all of this. We have 0, next to 0 is 1, and then we have 2. We'll do the same thing here, 0, 1, and 2. So what we do is multiplication. We're going to expand. So this is how we expand. 6 times 8 raised to the power of 2. Why? Because 2 is above 8, above 6, plus r times 8 raised to the power of 1, plus 7 times 8 raised to the power of 0. Now take note, the powers are the powers of the base. Please take note of that. And then we have 5 times 9 raised to the power of 2, plus 1 times 9 raised to the power of 1, plus 1 times 9 raised to the power of 0. When you were taught indices, you were told that any number raised to the power of 0 is 1, gives you 1. So this is 6 times 64. 8 raised to the power of 2 is 64. That's 8 times 8. Times r times 8. 8 raised to the power of 1 is 8. 7 times 1. Any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. This is 5 times 81 plus 1 times 9 plus 1 times 1. Okay, let's go. 6 times 64 is 384. R times 8 is 8R. And 7 times 1 is 7. To give you 405, which is 5 times 81, plus 9, plus 1. Now, if you add these two, you're going to have, so we have 8R plus 391 equals to 415. That's just simple mathematics. So simple addition. 8r is 415 minus 391. Now, we're taking this over here, so it becomes minus. So if you do that math, you get 24. 24, so 8r is 24. If we divide both sides by 8, that will give me r is 3. So 8 in 24 is 3. So that's what you get. So r is 3. So let's go back. See the correct option? Option C, r is 3. Next question. We have same 2010, number 5. At what rate will the interest on 400 naira, increase to 24 naira in 3 years, reckoning in simple interest? So now this is simple interest question. If you remember the formula for simple interest, we have simple interest equals principal times rate times time over 100. Now, what are the things given? We're given the simple interest, 24 naira, the principal, 400 naira, and the time, 3 years. Okay, so the rate we're told to find. Remember that rate is given in percentage. So if we apply all of these things, substitute them into the equation, we're going to have 24 equal, remember the principal is 400, times r, which is the rate which we don't know, times 3 over 100. Now, you can get 100 in 400. So more like saying 100 in 100 is 1, 100 in 400 is 4. So if you do the math, multiply, 4 times r is 4r, 4r times 3 is 12r. So if we divide both sides by 12, we're going to have our r to be 2%. Remember, rate is taken as a percentage. So you go back, that's option B, 2%. Next question. Same 2010, but number 10. It says express the product of 0.21 and 0.34 in standard form. 0.21 and 0.34 in standard form. Now let's go. Talking about standard form. If you can express a number in this form, a times 10 raised to the power n, then this is standard form. Now for a, it's any number from 1 to something less than 10. Now it mustn't be 10. It can be 9.999, but not 10. Please take note of that. So we have, as we go back to the question, product in math means multiplication. So 0.21 times 0.34. So I have 0.21 times 0.34. Okay, 0.34. Now let's go. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 0 is 0. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 0 is 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the zeros, the points, okay, the decimal point. So here I have written the decimal point, but I shouldn't have the decimal point. So just take off the decimal point. That's a very fast way of doing it. Now if you do that, then last of all we have 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 2, 0 times everything is 0. So we add up. 4 plus nothing leaves you with 4. 8 plus 3 is 11. And then we have 1 here. 1 plus 6 is 7. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0. So we go back. How many decimal places do we have, or did we have from the beginning? Here, 1, 2. 2 decimal places. Here, 1, 2. That's making 4 in all. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what this multiplication actually gives. But remember, we were told to express the answer in standard form. So this is the answer, 0.0714. So we will have to move this decimal point. So we move it one place, two places. If you move two places, you have 7.14 times 10 raised to the power of -2. Now, please take note, when you're dealing with standard form, every movement to the right gives you a negative power, and the movement to the left gives you a positive power. So we have 7.14 times 10 raised to the power of -2. So let's see our answer. The answer there is C. That's the correct answer. Now let's go to this. It says factorize completely. Now this is a polynomial question. Factorize completely. X cubed plus 3x squared minus 10x over 2x squared minus 8. So this is what we're going to do. X cubed, okay, x cubed plus 3x squared. Now let's go. Minus 10 minus 10x over 2x squared minus 8. Now look at this. Something is common. That's why we're told to factorize. If you look at the numerator, the one on top of the fraction. So x is common to all three. We have x here in x cubed, we have x in 3x squared, and we have x in 10x. So what we're going to do is we're going to factorize. Bring x out of the box, bracket. Then we've taken x out, we'll be left with x squared plus 3x minus 10. Now, if we divide this, we can also factorize this. 2 is common. It's a common factor there. So if we take 2 out, we're left with x squared minus 4. See this? Now, if you factorize this is a quadratic equation. If you factorize this equation, you're going to have x into x plus 5, x minus 2, all over 2 here. This is difference of two squares. You must have come across this sometime ago in your math journey. This is difference of two squares. So if you have 3 squared minus 2 squared, it is expressed as 3 plus 2 and then 3 minus 2. You can check that. 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. Let's do this. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. What is 5 times 1? It's still 5, so you see that. So now that's what happens here. Can you see these are two squares? How do we know that? 4 is a square number. So this one here, this one. It's more like saying x squared minus 2 squared, because 2 squared is 4. So if we apply this to this, or rather this to this, it's going to leave us with x plus 2 and then x minus 2. So we can do that here. So this is x plus 2 and this is x minus 2. Now this is beginning to make sense. Why? Because if you look very closely, these two are the same, so we can cancel them out. If we do, we're going to have left x into the bracket x plus 5 over 2 into bracket x plus 2. Don't forget this. X into bracket x plus 5 over 2 into bracket x plus 2. So the correct answer is option B. Now for 2010, number 16. Now this is a simultaneous equation question, but it's one linear, one quadratic, but it's very simple. Now what do we have? Look at the information. Solve for x and y if x minus y is 2 and x squared minus y squared is 8. So let's go solve the question. Let's bring it up. X minus y is 2, and it says x squared minus y squared is 8. We need to find or solve for x and y. Now I am going to use, or rather, let's do what they taught you in school. Let's number our equations. Equation 1, equation 2. Now, from equation 2, we just solved the question earlier on difference of two squares. As you can see, these are two squares, x squared minus y squared. And I told you how to express that. It is simply x plus y and x minus y. Can you see this? That's the previous example I did. Now, but if this is what we have here, okay? If you look at equation 1, it says x minus y equals 2. Now, look at this, equation 2. From 2, equation 2, what do we have? X squared minus y squared equals 8. And we have expressed that here. So that's x plus y and x minus y equals 8. But equation 1 tells us that x minus y is 2. So if x minus y is 2, what it means therefore is that x plus y times 2, can you see this, equals 8. So if we divide both sides by 2, it's going to leave us with x plus y equals 4. Now, we can still do this. If you go back to equation 1 says, so I can decide to number this equation 3. Okay, it's my choice. Now, but equation 1 says x minus y equals 2. So let me partition the board. Are we okay? So x minus y equals 2. And if x minus y is 2, we can substitute, we can bring this one. Equation 3, x plus y equals 4. I hope that's clear. All right, so if x minus y equals 2, x plus y, so we can solve this simultaneously. What do? We just subtract. X minus x is 0. Minus y minus plus y is minus 2y. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. So if we divide both sides by minus 2, my y becomes equals to 1. Now, you can substitute the value of y into any of the equations you already got to find the value of x. So, if you go to equation 3, remember equation 3, x plus y equals 4. So, if we substitute here, x plus y is 1, remember, equals 4. So, what you add to 1 to give you 4? That's a simple way of getting that. So, x is 4 minus 1, which is 3. We can say, therefore, that x equals to 3 and y equals to 1. I hope this is clear. Now, at any point, you can pause the video and rewind. You'll find out that you get a better understanding when you have time to go over what you have learned. So we'll be right back. Just stay tuned. Thank you.